Hello everyone! There are stories and quests that you can unlock behind the Renown levels for the different factions among the Isles. I've unlocked nearly all of them, so it's about time to cover what's going on in these stories. Timeline-wise, I'll be doing them per Renown level, but I have had people ask me when do these stories take place, compared to the raid especially. My take is that the raid happens first, and then we do these Renown quests, even though it is possible to do the Renown quest first. Reason for that is that the Dragon Queen mentions that they haven't set foot in Tyrhold for millennia, even though that the Renown quest that we're going to cover today, it has them do just that. So today, it's going to be the Valdrakken rank 12 Renown quest, which is called the Seal for Purpose. We've become so close to the Dragonflights, a true ally to them, that they want to share a gift passed on to them by Keeper Tyr himself. A dragon scale forged of purest silver.
This gift from Tyr is precious to us. A final remembrance of a treasured friend.
His deeds and his courage will never be forgotten.
You have told me stories of that time, but I've never seen the relic he gave you.
We kept it in a place of honor here in Valdrakken. An ingot of pure silver, forged in the shape of a dragon scale.
Beautiful. Tell me, has it always pulsed with such potent magic?
No. Something about it is different. The scale seems to have changed in our absence.
Perhaps our return to the Dragon Isles has awakened it. Tyr was full of mysteries. This may be one last enigma for us to investigate. As an ally of dragonkind, mortal, we ask that you take the scale and investigate this matter on our behalf.
For those that are unaware, Keeper Tyr, he was the one who approached the, at the time, Proto-dragons to unite against the threat of Galagrond. Him and his keepers were left behind by the Titans to keep an eye on the world after defeating the Old Gods and the Black Empire, after defeating and imprisoning the enslaved Elemental Lords, and after imposing the Order of the Titans upon the world of Azeroth. The whole conflict that we see in Dragonflight, Primalist versus Aspects, Elements versus Order, that goes back to those days where part of the Proto-dragons embraced the gift of the Titans and they became the dragons, while others did not.
Let us see if the scale interacts with the consoles of the hold. Place it here. For the
order to be
of
upheld,
dragonkind.
Sent by the Pantheon to push back Void.
That magic!
The Guardians of Tyrhold have become rather aggressive in the many ages that the drags have been absent. We go around the hold, fighting off any that see us as intruders, while we use the skill to unlock more secrets held within the hold.
The dragons shall be caretakers for the future of Azeroth. Odin refuses to see. Azeroth must take.
Tyr didn't call upon the aid of the Proto-dragons without his reasons. His fellow keepers, they become quite lethargic as the war with the Old Gods and the ordering of Azeroth, except their collective strength and their willpower. They become indifferent to the world at large, focused solely on maintaining their vaults and arcane machineries. Only at the end were the keepers able to rouse themselves, and by that time, the day had already been saved. It was their lethargy that convinced Tyr that they could use more heroes, but the Prime Designate Odin full-on disagreed. To him, the dragons were unworthy for guardianship of the world, warning his fellow keepers that Mommy and Daddy Titans, they'd left him in charge, and if they pursued this plan, he would take a wing of Ulduar into the sky and no longer play with them. Which he did, as they full-on ignored him. We now call that area the Halls of Valor, while the Aspects were empowered to become dragons. Now, recent information that shows that Keeper Tyr, while perhaps the best among his kind, he also has a few skeletons in his closet. Progress report Udoros, it tells us, Brother Loken, as you requested, I offer the following report on the progress towards our objectives. I'm pleased to say that the Halls of Infusion are now operational. Though the work of imbuing order magic into the wellspring is only beginning, I remain optimistic that the process will prove effective. Already, we're detecting reduced levels of contamination. I hope your investigation into how Yogg-Saron compromised these living waters will yield answers. In the meantime, we can be assured that the evolution of another Galagrond will not be triggered by consuming unfiltered water. So, it was their actions and a touch of Yogg-Saron that caused Galagrond to begin with. Once purification is complete, an additional benefit will be found in offering the infused waters to dragonkind. By ingesting the waters, or cause their eggs to absorb its effects, it should be possible to keep even the most willful dragons aligned with the Titan's philosophies. The dragons, even before they're born, they are fused with Titan juices to align them with their vision of order. Do our fellow aspects actually know this truth about the beloved Keeper? Did we share any of the knowledge that we found within Uldaman? Our efforts to bring the Proto-dragons in line have faced resistance, but I'm formulating a strategy to speed the process along. Construction of the facility atop the halls of Infusion is proceeding apace, though the station is to be designated Uldoros. I must reluctantly report that the dragons have taken a colony structure by the name Tyr holds. Not the first time that we hear the name Uldoros either, as this is one of the Titan facilities mentioned by the Maiden of Vitality within the Chamber of Hearts. I will do my best to ensure our Titan Forge workforce does not also adopt this embarrassing pseudonym, but as of late, they seem to be expressing more and more opinions of their own. In closing, let me underscore once again how fervently I disagree with the assertions of Prime Designate Odin concerning the unsuitability of the dragon aspects. I have every confidence that they will prove fervent allies in their shared goals of keeping the world structured and disciplined. Ever your friends, Keeper Tyr.
Locans must be punished. Unforgivable. Shadows rising in that too great. Ulduar infested by its own prisoner. Arcadis, Ironiah. All that I can trust. The records must be kept safe. Must be preserved for when the
Yaxaron was imprisoned within Ulduar, where Tyr, Loken and others, they were keeping an eye on him, while the old god did everything he could to break out, gain control of the Keepers and the facility. Loken would eventually fall under his sway, work against the other Keepers and their creations. Keeper Tyr and Arcadis, they eluded Yogg's and Loken's grasps, knew that if there was any hope of undoing the damage caused by his schemes, they would need to carefully study his actions. The Discs of Norganon were perfect for this job, as they were created to transcribe history as it unfolded on the worlds. In case their parents, the Pantheon, ever returned, they would possess a record of what had come to pass in their absence. Of course, Loken, he didn't want them figuring out what he had done, so he panicked a bit, sent out minions of the Black Empire to track down Tyr and his crew. In the land that we know as Tirisfal today, that's where Tyr fell, giving his life to protect his friends. Arcadis and Ironiah buried him there, renamed the area in his honor. They then traveled to Uldaman, where they would house the Discs of Norganon. They also expanded the facility, vowing to protect the history of Azeroth with their lives if need be. Lives that adventurers claimed as they partied through Uldaman. But with the revamp, a new wing has been discovered. This one contains discs that has Tyr's memories on them, once entrusted to Ironiah and Arcadis, together with the Discs of Norganon. We have tried to get to them, but Chronoloord Dials, he's made sure to scatter the discs into the infinite timeways.
Fascinating. What secret is this you have unlocked?
The spark leads us through Tyrhold and its very hostile defenders, until we reach the spot where the dragon aspects lost other friend Tyr. With a bit of help from Nosdormu, we should be able to relive that moment.
An old memory of a beloved friend. Let us hope it has wisdom to impart.
My friends, I am leaving on a journey, one that may keep me away for some time. Before I depart, I have something I wish to leave in your care. To symbolize our bond, I present you with this scale forged of purest silver.
A thoughtful gift, though its enchantments obscure my vision as to its true nature.
Perceptive as always, Timeless One, but do not be troubled. You know my fondness for mysteries.
I suspect that this scale has a deeper meaning. That you are leaving it with us, because your journey will place you in grave peril.
Tell us what danger lies ahead of you, Tyr. We would gladly face it at your side.
Where I go, you cannot follow. There is sacred knowledge that can only be safeguarded by myself and my fellow keepers. Your place is here, You must prepare your flights for the great destiny that lies before them. I am sorry, my friends. I wish I had more time with you, but I must go. Remember, the silver scale will reveal its value in a time of need. Be well.
There is much about our history that I do not know. I can feel the scale still pulsing with magic. Whatever Tyr left for us is powerful indeed.
Though the Bronze Flight is able to experience all points in time, we occasionally forget that it can be pleasant to linger on certain moments. I do miss him.
Although he is no longer with us, his legacy will always live on within our flights. From pain, much has happened since the day we said goodbye to Tyr. I hope you would be proud of everything we have accomplished. To know that despite the hardships we have faced, dragonkind thrives.
Voice recognition complete. Input received.
It seems your words have awakened an ancient magic, Lifebinder.
Keeper designation Tyr. Not found. Activating Silver Protocol. My loyal companions.
An echo of Tyr. What wisdom has he left behind for us?
If you are seeing this message, it means a time of great need is at hand. But I am no longer among you. Take the silver scale to my forge in Tyrhold, and more shall be revealed.
Mysteries within mysteries. Tyr always had a plan.
The clever Keeper had a backup plan, in case the worst would happen, which it did. Funny enough, silver was not just used to create this dragon scale, it's also said that the new hand he forged for himself, after he lost his own in the battle against Galakrond, that was also made of the finest silver, hence the name the Silver Hand, the inspiration for the Paladin order of the same name.
Ah, hero. I was going to check if the console here could provide us any new information. Have you found anything? The lockdown protocol here seems quite intact.
The task is going to be a little bit harder than Tyr let on, as the security system is very active. To bypass it, we take out the Maiden of Diligence and of Patience. We take the security disks and we get our access.
We should be able to override the security lockdown with these disks.
The forge has been reactivated, now readying the next stage of Silver Protocol.
By the Titans, what did Keeper Tyr leave behind for us?
Now the next task won't be that simple. Transcribed within the scale are schematics for something we need to forge, but the materials for this task were entrusted with Watcher Iridius. Tasked by Keeper Tyr to protect and maintain the halls of Infusion. Watcher Iridius has performed his duties to perfection until now. Caught off guard by the Primalist incursion, he was overwhelmed by the elemental forces they unleashed. A mistake he does not intend to make again, which makes just asking him for the materials a little bit tricky. No matter, we have other ways of getting what we need. Other ways to claim 10 ancient Titan steel ingots, forged by the hand of Titan Agramar himself. These ingots were used to create the original keepers on Azeroth.
Remarkable. This body looks exactly like the Tyr we knew, though it is but an empty vessel, bereft of the noble spirit that made him such a trusted friend.
Tyr must have known he was going to his doom, so he left behind the silver scale as a catalyst to restore his physical form.
A truth he kept veiled from my perceptions until a time when his wisdom would be needed.
Tyr's allies hid a record of his memories in the depths of Uldaman. But before it could be recovered, agents of the infinite dragonflight cast the disk into the time ways. We must locate that disk, or find another way to restore Tyr. The future of our flights may depend upon it.
It will be done, Queen Alexstrasza. This I vow.
If no other solution presents itself, then we'll have to cruise the time ways and get our hands on the disc again. For Nosdormu, that means facing a great darkness, but he will do it. His keeper friend is worth the risk. Moruzand and the infinite dragonflight loom on the horizon. Okay, he believes that surely if Tyr can get himself back from the dead, there must be some plan in place to get their powers back as well. Personally, I'm okay with that storyline, but I would find it far more interesting if the aspects actually learned the truth behind Tyr and the Keepers, learned the truth about where Galagrond came from, how they were recruited to become the dragons, how they infused the eggs to align them more to order, perhaps have the purpose of the Titans bestowed upon them, perhaps reveal that as nothing but the will of the Titans, and not a this is what the universe needs to be. Have them have some questions for Keeper Tyr that are in need of answers. But I guess that will be story for the future. For now, you're up to speed on the first Renown story that we have done. Next time, we're gonna find a mystery sealed. So for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you're new to this one. And until next time, see ya!